Well, hello everybody. It's Lynda Lippin here from Lynda Lippin Pilates, the Pilates Teacher Mastermind, and the Strong Bones Osteoporosis Program for women over 50. You know, in this era of doing everything online and it being super important to all of our businesses to be online and be connecting with other professionals, um, LinkedIn can be a huge part of that for Pilates professionals. I can tell you that I have actually gained a lot of extraordinarily useful content on LinkedIn. Not necessarily all clients, but also corporate contacts and other leaders that really have introduced me to other people and have allowed me to move forward in different spaces in my own business. And as you guys know, I like nothing more than to bring actual experts to you to discuss these things because I may love to use LinkedIn and be on there a lot, but I am in no way, shape, or form a LinkedIn expert. Luckily, I have a friend who is yet another member of the Advanced Women's Expert Network, Jennifer Corcoran, who is coming to us from Australia. No?
No,
UK.
I'm in the
You're
UK.
UK. That's right. You're in the UK. And she is literally like a LinkedIn power connector. That is who she is. Her website is Super Connector. And she actually shared with me this morning that she is solely using LinkedIn for her business. Period. End of discussion. No other social media accounts. Now, there is a relatively pitiful Pilates presence on LinkedIn. There's a lot of fluff, there's a lot of kind of stuff out there. And I think that it could really be useful for Pilates professionals to understand a little bit more about LinkedIn and about the difference between LinkedIn and the other social media networks. So, Jennifer, give us a quick introduction and then we'll get into the meat of the LinkedIn discussion.
Sure. So thank you so much for having me on here today, Linda. I'm Jennifer Corcoran. I'm the founder of a company called My Super Connector, and I help small businesses to grow on LinkedIn. I'm a LinkedIn trainer and consultant, and I would say my main clients are female solopreneurs, so coaches, consultants, trainers, generally people who are selling their expertise. And I also do corporate workshops, but the bread and butter and the thing that gives me the most joy is the fellow female entrepreneurs because it's great to collaborate with each other. As you mentioned, Advance, we're both part of the Advance network, so I really love that network as well. And yeah, I help these female entrepreneurs to polish up their profile, building a solid foundation, and then connecting with finesse in a way that feels authentic to them, because the beauty of LinkedIn is there is no one size fits all approach. That's one of the reasons why I love it. You don't have to do all the things. You figure
Mm.
out what are the things that you like, that you want to do, that are going to work for you, and then you rinse and repeat. So I don't know if you want to shoot with any of your questions. Fire away.
Sure. So, first of all, why is it important for most Pilates teachers at this point are solopreneurs. Most of them are starting, an online piece to their business. Um, why is it important for them to be on LinkedIn? I mean, no one's really sure where to be right now because there's just so much going on. Why LinkedIn?
I think LinkedIn is a great place for a Pilates teacher to stand out purely because not all the Pilates teachers are on there. Whereas on Instagram or Facebook, you've got masses of competition and it's harder to stand out. Whereas I think the first question would be, if you are a Pilates teacher, are you one that is bound by geography? Do you only want to teach in a specific location? Then on LinkedIn, if you only, for example, I live in Devon in the UK. If I only wanted to do LinkedIn training in Devon in the UK, I would be joining groups on LinkedIn with Devon business owners. So if you are local like that, you should be joining your local business groups. So your local BNIs, Chamber of Commerce, FSB, there are loads of groups on LinkedIn, and they're all in the one place, all of those members. So that's a great way for you to start. If you're more global, maybe you're a Pilates teacher like my teacher at the moment, she's 100% on Zoom. You can still leverage groups, but it's just a bigger playing space for you, and maybe you might want to focus a bit more on content on the home feed to get known. So I think it's about clarifying what your goals are. What exactly do you want to get out of LinkedIn? Because a local business owner who only does Pilates in one particular town will have a totally different approach as someone who's got groups and, day long virtual summit. So I think it's about being clear on your goals first.
Is it important to have a business page as well as just your personal profile on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I personally, I'm a massive fan of the both, but I would say don't panic about your page until you've got your profile perfect. So if you're used to Facebook, which I imagine a lot of you are, you'll know that when you're on Facebook, you have your personal profile and then you have a separate business page. And the same applies to LinkedIn. You have to have a personal LinkedIn profile before you can create your LinkedIn company page. I think even at this point, if you were to create a business page and not even worry about content, just create the page for the sake of brand positioning, I think that's probably better than having no page. Because once you have a business page and it's optimized with your business logo and your branding on your profile, when people see your experience, they can see that branded logo and it just makes you look like a proper business owner, as opposed to somebody who has no page, or they've got a page that's not optimized, so they've got a grayed out logo. It doesn't really help to build the know, like, and trust. So on LinkedIn, there's really two main reasons you need a page. The first is brand positioning. So that's the reason I'd say get it for your brand. The second is paid advertising. And I don't believe small business owners need to invest in paid advertising until they're way down the line. They're really milking the free version of LinkedIn. Maybe they've upgraded to premium, and then maybe down the line some paid ads. So don't worry about that for now, because I believe you can really get a lot of organic reach on LinkedIn. But for the brand positioning alone, I would say create one, but don't worry if you're not ready to put content on it. It's far better to have no content than to be pushing out inconsistent content that makes no sense. But yeah, the profile is the big one for me. Like, I think a lot of people, when they come onto LinkedIn, they jump straight to creating content for the home feed of their personal profile or their company page, but they've not optimized their profile, which means they're not showing up in search. If you don't have all the sections filled out properly, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage and you will show up in like 40 to 50% less searches. And then if you've not built your network, you're like posting to nobody. So I would say focus on building your profile and knowing what you want to get out of LinkedIn, and then strategically adding to your network, and then worry about content, whether it's personal content or content on your company page.
Now, when you set up, and this is actually a question I've always had, when you set up your LinkedIn profile on just standard LinkedIn.com, I
Yeah.
know that there are country specific LinkedIn's as well. Like if I search for you, you show up on LinkedIn UK as
Okay.
well as, showing up on LinkedIn.com. LinkedIn does that automatically.
To be honest, when I signed up on LinkedIn.com. So I think it's just when
Okay,
you
then
sign
LinkedIn
your
does it automatically.
Yeah, I think they just do it automatically. So I wouldn't worry about it, because when you do a search, everybody will show up, whether they're in the UK or the US or Australia. You can still find them.
Now, LinkedIn is also, I noticed, consistently rolling out kind of new features, right? Last year we had the advent of live video streaming on LinkedIn. This year it looks like we're having newsletters
Yeah.
and possibly audio rooms. Um, I'm hearing a little bit about that. Um, are these good things to use? How are you feeling about video going into 2022? What's going to be like the thing, do you think?
I think it's all to do with your personality again, because I started to use LinkedIn Lives myself about 18 months ago. And when I first started to use them, they'd probably been around for 6 to 12 months, and they got a lot of traction at the start, like a lot of reach. And then over time, people get a bit jaded. It's a bit like polls. Now, polls are not out that long on LinkedIn, they're only out, less than a year. But there are love-hate relationship. A lot of people are like, love these polls for the reach or hate these silly polls. So I just think it's about what works for you and your audience, and what do you get engagement with. So after 18 months of LinkedIn lives myself, like, I'm going to be doing less LinkedIn lives next year because the reach is not there. Whereas yesterday I did my first newsletter, which is a written piece, and you would think maybe a bit more boring, it's not as interactive. And within a day, I've had like 2,500 subscribers almost. So I know every time I do a newsletter, they're all going to be pinged, whereas I was not getting 2,500 people on my lives. So that's one thing that
Right.
I'm going to be doing more of, but that may not work for everybody if they've not built an audience. So at this moment in time, I have got quite a big audience. I've got over 10,000 personal connections and then 30,000 followers. So you know, I think it's about what works for you. If you love video, live will be a dream. You'll love to go live at the drop of a hat, and then you'll be more consistent, and then you'll get known more, and then maybe your reach will go out. So I think every case is different. It's about you figuring out what lights you up, gives you joy, and then rinsing and repeating. Like I mentioned, polls, I love polls. So many people hate them, but I have had like
I
20,000
always
reach.
answer your polls.
Oh, yeah, thank you. But they're so great for engagement and outreach. So if you have a strategic poll, so a Pilates teacher, your poll could be, hi guys, I'm curious, going into 2022, what way do you like to do your Pilates? Answer, point one, in person. Answer two, virtual. Answer three, a mix. Answer four, other. Please comment below. You will get so much engagement because people engage on polls, even if they don't like the poll. It takes 1 second to say click. And the great thing is when the poll expires, so you can set it to expire after a day or 2 days or a week or 2 weeks. I usually do them for about 7 days. You can go back to the people, you can see all the people that voted. So, for example, they said in person, and you're an in-person teacher, you can go back to those 200 people, 300 people that voted and say, hi, Mary, thanks so much for voting in my recent poll about my Pilates. I'm delighted to tell you I will be doing in-person classes again from June the whatever, the 7th at XYZ. If you would like any more information, please let me know. And obviously, if these are local people, and again, if they ticked virtual, it doesn't matter where they are. You can say, do you know what? I'm delighted to say, from June next year, I will be streaming my Pilates live on Zoom every Monday and Tuesday, whatever, at whatever
Mhm.
time. If that's of interest to you, let me know. I can send you more information. And the thing is, it's not cold outreach. It's not yucky because they've already engaged in your poll. Even if they forget, it's still justifiable kind of outreach. So you would be surprised how much engagement you can get. So that's the main reason I love polls. It's for what I can do with the poll when it's finished. And of course, you can share
Ah.
the polling content as well and say, I recently polled you, this is what people are wanting. And just to let you know, I'm doing my class again, blah, 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 based on the poll, So as much, a lot of people hate polls, but I think if you know how to leverage polls and if you know how to do the outreach after, they're amazing. Another feature I think that's been really great this year, and I think there'll be more of next year, are carousels. People love a branded visual on LinkedIn. We love to scroll, and we used to love, like, 3 ways Pilates can, I don't know, help your back pain. Tip one, tip two, tip three. And then at the end, I'm Lynda. If you need my help, get in touch. I think we all love that kind of content. It's visual, it helps to create brand awareness, and it just mixes up your content. So you could do the exact same post another day, just written form, and then repurpose it into a carousel another day because some people will like visuals more than written, and vice versa. So I don't know. Like, I've heard rumors about like a Clubhouse, the LinkedIn Clubhouse audio version, but I I have no idea when it's coming. I don't really see it coming just yet. I
Right.
don't know what the exciting thing is going to be. I think people are going to hate newsletters in the next few months because everybody's going to be on them, like the polls.
I've
Um,
gotten so many invitations to subscribe to people's newsletters. That's
the thing
like,
is, if you want, you can switch it off in the settings. So I'm quite naughty because I have very restricted settings, so mine is switched off. So I probably sound very
oh,
one-sided because I'm like, here's mine, subscribe to mine, but I don't get any because I've switched it off. The way I see it is it's my LinkedIn, I'm fully in control. And if I like you and if I want to subscribe, I'll see it on the home feed and I'll subscribe that way. So I'm quite mean. I don't allow anyone to send me invites for newsletters, invites for events, any of that stuff. I have it all switched off, really locked down. So I don't want to get distracted when I go on LinkedIn. I just want to pop on for 10 minutes, 15 minutes and hop back off because it's a tool for me. And I don't want to fall down that rabbit hole of being on social media all day because we all could do that.
so it doesn't have to take a lot of time to handle LinkedIn and to build the following on LinkedIn. I also wanted to ask you about direct messaging on LinkedIn because,
Sure.
in fact, you and I have been connected on LinkedIn for a while, and then you reached out to me a few weeks ago, as it seemed almost as kind of a matter of course of sort of what you do, and said, "Hey, we've been connected for a while. How can we collaborate? What can we do with each other for each other?" Um, and I was like, and that's something I haven't done, I realize.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's a good thing to do because obviously, like, you reached out. I was like, oh, yes, I've been wanting to have Jennifer on my live stream. Let's do this now and get it done. And here we are getting it done.
Yeah, because I think
Um,
it's warm outreach because we both belong to the same network. I think as long as there's some kind of a connection, that's why I was saying I personally love LinkedIn groups. A lot of trainers will diss them because they can be a bit spammy or maybe there's no engagement at all in the group. But I never think of the feed in a group. I always think of the people in a group and think, well, they joined this group because they're up for networking. So if you can join, like I said, if you belong to a local chamber of commerce or a BNI or anything like that, any association you belong to, whether it's a Pilates association or an accredited association, if there's a group on LinkedIn, get in there and mingle and connect with the fellow members because you've got that already in common and then you can just reach out to them down the line. But initially when I first connect, it's just general chit chat, hey, we both belong to the events, great to connect with you. It could be just the way you'd network in person. Was the weather like with you? What are you up to? It's just general chit chat. It's like water cooler or coffee moment chit chat. It's not, here's my latest LinkedIn thing, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't happen. So it's just connect, make the connection. And then, I love to say I'm super strategic and that like on the first of the month I'm reaching out. I'm not. It's like I'm usually kind of working because I'm in the advance that particular day. I know there was a speed networking event coming up. And I thought, you know what? It's a good excuse. I'm going to join this today. It's a good excuse for me to reach. I think this was the day I messaged you, but I think to say, I'm going to this event today. Are you going to be there? And I'd love to say you were the only one, Lynda, if it was that day, but you weren't because I probably reached out to
yeah,
about 100 ladies that day and said, hey,
right.
I'm going to be at this. Are you going to be there? And it just starts a conversation. Some will say, yeah, I'll see you there. Others say, oh, sorry, no. Others might say, do you know what, Jennifer? I actually, I watched your community give in the advanced network and I think I need LinkedIn help. Bingo. It doesn't happen like if you reach out to the 100, but one or two will say, do you know, actually, I'd like to have a chat with you. And I've not mentioned anything about LinkedIn at that stage. So, it's just about being a human being and staying connected and touching base. And if you've got a network already in common or a location in common, you're both part of a local group of business owners, why not reach out and connect with them because you can all cross refer each other.
Yeah, I mean, I have found LinkedIn to be extraordinarily useful. I also, in addition to teaching Pilates and working with Pilates professionals, I still do the sourcing of Pilates teachers for Como hotels for Como hotels. Um, and and that's really when I was there was when I really started to use LinkedIn and kind of see how the hospitality industry was using
Yeah.
LinkedIn, which really kind of helped me, navigate it when I was more a part of that, industry. But I being on LinkedIn really gives me insight and input from, other recruiters. I can kind of see how other people handle different situations in the business world. And that's, I guess, what I've always loved about LinkedIn. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer, is that it feels more professional.
Yeah.
That like LinkedIn is about professionalism and business. And even every once in a while, somebody will post something like political or way personal, but without any explanation. And you can see it in the comments. People are like, and why is this here? Like, there's a place for this, not here.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely the most professional, but I don't think of LinkedIn as social media. I just think of it as a social network, and it's the largest professional network in the world. So I know BNI is the largest like networking organization in the world, but to me, LinkedIn is the largest network, and it's all at the touch of your fingertips. So definitely the content is more elevated, it's more business focused, and people are more in that business mindset, especially because you've got a mix of corporates as well in their offices, and then you've got business owners as well. Um, I think though that anybody can be on LinkedIn, like I know there might be some Pilates teachers thinking, why should I be on there? What have I got to contribute? And I think we all need help, especially corporates. I had back surgery a few years ago, which is one of the reasons I set up in business. And that's how I discovered Pilates. And I wish I had discovered it like years before. So I think there's so many people on LinkedIn. There's 800 million at the moment who potentially need your help. And we're all, you know, most of us are sedentary at the moment, home on our computers. Some will
Right.
be stands up desks or stand sit desks, but a lot will be sat down all day with bad habits, working from home, maybe not a proper office chair. So I definitely think they need your help. And it's about collaboration, like you were saying, Lynda. You've seen how the hospitality industry uses Pilates, and it's about being thinking bigger than your immediate client, because on LinkedIn you can collaborate with hospitality, like hotels or venues or events, and get access to a bigger audience. So, for example, you could collaborate with an event manager who's putting on a well-being conference, a virtual well-being conference, and there's going to be 10,000 attendees, and you are the main Pilates teacher. So in one day, you're getting exposure to 10,000 as opposed to one person locally down the road. So it is about thinking bigger, because you might think, oh, I don't know if my clients are on there. And in fairness, nobody is on LinkedIn to be sold to. Okay, it doesn't matter what profession. We haven't joined that site to be sold to. You end up being sold to by people who are spammy, but we're on there to build our networks, to build our businesses. Yes, we want to get referrals, we want to get business ultimately, but you can't sell straight away. So approach it as a networking platform, and how can I help you? And I think you'll be a breath of fresh air, like a Pilates teacher on there, because you've got all the corporate gray, the men in gray suits, and we need like your well-being. Like it's a lovely job that you have, and it's a lovely job that you do. So I think like you're very welcome on there, and I just think you're going to make such a splash, because you will stand out on the home feed, and only about like 2 to 3% currently every week post on the home feed on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
compared to all the members on Instagram or Facebook. Because a lot of people have a mental block and they think, oh, I don't know what to say, it's the professional one. As long as you're business focused, if you're talking about any exercise, why not share those exercises, whether it's a
Right.
video or a picture? We've all got buddies, whether you're a CEO or an executive, like everybody's got a buddy, and we need to look after it. So I think you can really stand out, if you were like a local teacher or someone even, who does it like globally on Zoom. I don't see why you couldn't become like little micro influencers or mega influencers on LinkedIn, because what you're doing is so needed.
Right. So, Jennifer, I know you have some programs. I know you have some groups. I know you have a host of ways for people to work with you and get help positioning themselves on LinkedIn. I have linked to your website in the notes to video, but let people know how best to reach you.
Yeah, so if you are a female entrepreneur, I have a group on LinkedIn called Networking Tips with My Super Connector. It's all about LinkedIn, so join that. That would be great. Um, Program wise, every about 3 times a year, I run the LinkedIn Tribe Academy, which is an 8-week deep dive for female entrepreneurs. The next one is going to start in January 24th, and I will be promoting it in the next few weeks. It's a very small container. I only take 20 people max because I want everybody to have one-to-one time with me and just to relax. And it's very much like a safe, intimate space. It's not a program for the masses. So if you are an introvert or an empath or a highly sensitive person, it's perfect for you. Um, Otherwise, other than the 8 week, I do strategy sessions like maximize your profile power hours on Zoom. I can do these with anyone around the world so long as we have access to Zoom and it's not a crazy time. And I can really help you get a lot out of LinkedIn in that 1 hour. I can help you to polish up your profile, or we can work on your content or your outreach or your connection. So I'd say the best ways to contact me really are the website. So check the website below. Of course, LinkedIn, reach out. And even if you forget the name of the group, if we connect on LinkedIn, I'll invite you in there manually.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Well, I am so thrilled that we had this chance to connect today, and to share some of these, just an introduction to LinkedIn and LinkedIn tips for the Pilates professionals out there who I know may be kind of intimidated by the platform. And we're all just getting used to all the platforms right now. So it's, all a little crazy. I do want you guys to know that I know at least 4 people who have worked directly with Jennifer on LinkedIn, and every single one sings her praises, sings your praises, my friend, extraordinarily highly. They say that you are a dream to work with, that you are clear, that you offer wonderful, actionable advice, and that what you teach works. And really, that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, thank you. And I was going to say, look, guys, I love Pilates. I do Pilates. I have a Pilates class, I was saying to Lynda, right after this on Zoom. So I can help you because I understand what you do and I understand how necessary it is. So it'd be a pleasure for me to help you guys on LinkedIn as well. I'd love to say I love working with all professions, but they don't all float my boat as much as some. I love anything to do well-being and health and well-being is amazing, and I do Pilates twice a week if I'm good.
There we are. So everybody get in touch. Seriously, if you want to solidify yourself on LinkedIn and kind of get comfortable and really work LinkedIn for your business and not just spend time kind of doing nothing, I highly, highly encourage you to get in touch with Jennifer because she will help you. Okay.
Thank you.
So everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Interestingly enough, Jennifer, I am also an introvert, um, but I managed to bust it out for things like this.
Oh, you're
So
good.
here we are. Uh, so everybody, once again, this is Lynda Lippin. I was here with Jennifer Corcoran, LinkedIn expert and expert super connector. And we wish you all the best. We wish you a happy new year, happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating. And I see you guys in the new year. Just hang out for a moment after we go off live, Jennifer. And I will see everybody soon. Bye.
Thank you.